Hi everyone. It's Monday and we are doing our quick check-in slash question answer session. I didn't get any questions, so today I thought I'd go over how to ensure you're getting your 100 grams of protein in a day. Let me just plug in so we don't so I don't lose you. Okay, so Okay, here's the deal. If you struggle with getting protein in, here are my quick hacks. First and foremost, you want to think about your protein first. I usually do my meal planning around my protein because that's generally the hardest part to keep track of for me as well. So all of my meal planning is done first around my protein. I know I always usually have like something in the pantry in regards to a carb, as well as I always have my fridge stocked with veggies and fruit. So protein is the one that I really have to think about in terms of what I'm making. Um, and then from there, let's talk about quick ways you can add protein to your day to day. So we know that a single serving of protein around 3 ounces, which is usually the size of your palm or the size of and thickness of a deck of cards. If we're talking about high bioavailable protein sources, we're talking about animal sources. So poultry, fish, cow, pork, all have relatively the same amount of protein per serving size, which is going to be around between 22 to 28 grams of protein. So if I'm thinking I want to get 100 grams of protein, I know that at least half of my grams are going to come from high bioavailable protein sources, those animal sources. So I know that like lunch and dinner, I'm probably going to have those animal sources. So I'm getting at least 50 from there. Now, if I'm just doing 3 ounces, typically what I recommend for most of my burnout clients and for my fertility clients is to not just use a deck of card size portion. I generally recommend that you use a hand size portion, the whole hand, and the thickness of your hand. So that means that you're probably 1.5 and you're getting 150% of your serving size, or you're doubling it, which means you're getting even more protein um per like lunch and dinner, right? So let's say instead of 25-ish grams of protein at those meals, you're getting around 35, 40 grams. So that's 80 right there. And then I'm focusing on breakfast and my snacks to close the gap. So when we talk about closing the gap, here's what I think can make the most bang for your buck. Number one, focusing on your dairy, especially Greek yogurt, or even cottage cheese, or cheddar cheese. All of these have a pretty good amount of protein in them. One serving of Greek yogurt or even a Siggi's yogurt is going to have Greek yogurt, 2% Greek yogurt, one serving probably has about 18 grams of protein in it. And then your Siggi's yogurt or the skyr, I like that because it has a high protein to carbohydrate ratio. It's going to have at least around 10 to 11 grams of protein. So if you're doing the math there, hi, Alyssa, you've got roughly maybe, let's say 75 grams of protein coming from your servings or your portion sizes at lunch and dinner. And then from there, let's say you have a serving of Siggi's yogurt. So that's another 11 grams. I have my little like math spreadsheet here. So then we're talking about 86 grams right there. For breakfast, I really do love to incorporate a high protein, balanced fat, carb rich breakfast that's full of fiber. So I love eggs in the morning, but your one egg in the morning isn't going to cut it, because what I do recommend is that you try to aim for 30 to 40 grams of protein at each meal. So if you're having eggs in the morning, cool. One egg isn't going to cut it. Let's aim for 3 eggs and see what happens to your energy then. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, 3 eggs, I can't even, but you can, trust me, it's okay. Eggs are very nutrient dense when it comes to micronutrients, our B vitamins, choline, antioxidants, really great powerhouse, nutrient dense food when it comes to your eggs. So if you're having 3 eggs, there are 6 grams of protein per egg. So that means you're getting roughly 18 grams of protein in 3 eggs. Now, what I would say here is let's add some fiber from like a veggie or 2 veggies, pick 3. I usually recommend the color. But today we're talking about, protein. So 2 or 3 eggs is going to be great for you. If you're having 2, again, you're going to want to kind of like close the gap there. So maybe you're adding either some cheese with your egg, maybe you're having yogurt on the side, maybe you're doing a smoothie or a protein smoothie. The most research we have on protein shakes or protein smoothies has been done on whey protein. And this is a very high bioavailable protein source again. And when I say high bioavailable protein, high bioavailable means that your body is able to absorb these amino acids from these specific foods very effectively and very efficiently, more so than from plants. So if you're having a hard time absorbing, or if you're having gut dysfunction, or if you have been in a long-term chronic stressed out state, why make it harder for your body to only use plant-based sources? I'm not saying don't ever use plant-based sources, but you're going to be putting yourself at an advantage by favoring higher bioavailable protein sources because your body's not going to have to work harder than it already is to absorb those nutrients. So that's why I recommend typically of focusing most of your protein intake from high bioavailable protein sources because most of my clients are in need of high bioavailable protein sources. So whey protein is one of the most highly researched forms of protein powder. If you can stomach those, great. I do the Whole Foods brand 365 brand whey protein. You can also do in the client resources document, I have a few other brands that I really like. I have Judy's egg whites, dehydrated egg whites. I really like, I also really like the Orgain vegetarian protein. You could do pea protein if you're aiming for a plant-based source, or something along those lines. So, you can refer to the protein recommendations in the folder, and it also gives you like smoothie recommendations as well. But again, if you're making a smoothie in the morning and you add Greek yogurt, and then maybe you're adding some like chia seeds plus some whey protein, you're well on your way to 30 to 40 grams of protein in a smoothie. So let's say at some point you do get that whey protein in as a snack or as a part of your breakfast. You've got around 20 grams of protein just right there. So if we're doing our calculations between lunch, snacks, breakfast, already I'm at 124 grams of protein just by doing a hand-sized serving of your high bioavailable protein from fish, steak, poultry, pork. And then from there, I've got a Siggi's yogurt snack. And then I also have maybe some, again, 3 eggs at breakfast. And then also I'm having another snack, and it's a protein-based snack from a protein powder or protein drink. The other protein shakes that I really like that are pre-prepared are the Only What You Need protein shakes. It's OWYN. You can get them on Amazon. I'm really picky about protein shakes. A lot of them taste like chalk to me, so I don't generally recommend them. But the Only What You Need is a plant-based source, and it's got 25 grams of protein, and I like the chocolate mocha flavor. It's got a little caffeine boost to it. So that is another option for you. And again, that's going to get you to, let's say it's another 20 grams, and you're at 150, 144. So as you can see here, based on how we're talking, it's not that hard to meet those goals. But if you're not used to balancing your plate, balancing your plates or your meals around your protein. If most of your meals are pasta based or carb based or veggie based, then it's kind of a mind switch when it comes to how you're approaching your planning and your prepping. So I would say, number one, focus on your protein first, because that's going to be most important for you for blood sugar balance, energy stability, and your goals, right? And then from there, if you're doing that, you'll probably be in a really good place. So that's the quick spiel for today. I feel like I'm probably forgetting something. So if you do have any questions here around protein intake, how to get extra protein in, what snacks, you can always refer to the documents in your client supporting document folder. There's lots of resources on protein intake in there. And meal prepping, meal planning in there. I'm not a big meal prepper. I do not spend a lot of time prepping. I don't really even spend a lot of time planning. I basically just on my whiteboard write down what protein I'm having for dinner every day. That's it. So, and New York Times cooking is my friend. I love going through New York Times just for inspiration. I'm not a big recipe follower either. I just like kind of look in there. I'm like, okay, I can figure this one out in 20 minutes. Like, that's it. Another plant-based protein source though, that I really do like that is great is chickpea pasta or Banza pasta. That is great for plant-based protein as well as fiber. So, I'm not doing that. I'm not like saying all pasta or all grain intake has to come from this source. I usually mix it up and it depends on how I'm feeling. But for day-to-day dinner, that's not really necessarily a special occasion. It's just like, I need to cook dinner for the family real quick. I'm using Banza chickpea pasta just to get added protein and fiber in. So that's another quick switch you could do in your house too. And it really does make a difference in terms of your fullness and how you feel. And that's it. Okay. If nobody has any questions, I will stop the recording and then I will post this on the Facebooks where you can watch it at your own leisure. But yeah, Alyssa, any questions? You can just chat if you want, if you're listening in.
I don't have any specific questions. I do already have my whey proteins and
you're sending me your smoothie pics and they're giving me life here. So I love what you got going on. You should share it in the Facebook group.
Oh, okay, I can do that. Yeah, I think I do the gold standard whey protein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great source.
But I do hate the flavor that I got, so I am.
Yeah, I don't. So the other recommendation I have for protein powder is to get flavorless. I do not love the taste of most protein powders. So that is why the 365 brand is flavorless. And so that's why I use it, because I can't like handle the taste of other flavors. So
yeah, I've tried like the Vital, like I actually think I got the collagen one. Yeah. And that one's flavorless. And so I used to just put that in my coffee, but now I don't do that anymore because I eat before I put it in I have my coffee.
I love that journey for you also. And the collagen powder, like I don't mind it either, but it's not a complete protein source. You're going to get a lot more amino acids from a full protein powder versus a collagen protein powder. Not knocking it at all. If that's what you want to do, go ahead, but you're going to get more bang for your buck from a complete protein powder. There was something else. Oh, and if you have these protein powders, not just in a smoothie, you could always add them to like your oats in the morning. And the great thing about whey protein, or the great thing about flavorless, is that you can make your oats savory or sweet. Another awesome protein add that I really love, especially for winter and immunity, is bone broth. I'm not having bone broth like Gwyneth Paltrow for all of my meals. Like, it's not soup, but it is great to like sip on as kind of like a tea or you know, a nighttime like cozy warm situation. I really love putting ginger in it and a little salt and pepper and lemon, and it's really great for immune function too. So that's another way you could add protein. Making your rice or your quinoa with broth, that adds protein. So quick little tips like that really do add up if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, thanks for coming, Alyssa. And again, if you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up, and you can catch this on the Facebook group. Cheers, everyone. Have a good
Thanks, Callie.
Bye.
Bye.